The Boys is back with season 4. We had the first 3 episodes just dropped. I'm going to do a spoiler breakdown of each of those 3 episodes right here. Before I get started though, make sure to leave a like, it helps me out. And if you do want to see more, I might be doing an episode breakdown for every single week. So let me know down in the comments if you do want that. But let's get it started. First I want to talk about, it's another very strong start to the season. Might be my favorite start to a season overall. You know, I can't really remember how season 1 started because I remember I watched the show when season 1 already fully aired, but I watched it before season 2, so I binged season 1. But I think this is a better start to the show than season 2 and season 3. Even though season 3 had a very strong start, this just gets you right into it. You get right back into the action, sexual jokes, meta commentary, and even a cameo that I wasn't expecting at all. But now we're going to break down every single episode one by one, starting with the first one. So spoilers right here. I don't know why you haven't watched it if you are a fan of the show, but go watch it. But episode 1, we start with, you know, just going on with the team on this one mission. And I gotta say, seeing MM without a beard was a weird sight at first, because I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure in all 3 seasons this man has had at least some sort of a beard, but now he just has a mustache. It's weird to get used to, but at least I got used to it. You know, by the 3rd episode, the gang is all back together here. The boys with actually MM is in charge, kind of. I wasn't sure if it was like him and Butcher in charge at the same time, but I think it's just MM in charge. You know, Butcher is going through some things, so he can't really take the reins, and he's kind of a bad leader at times. He's dealing with the side effects of the Temp V from last season, because you know it's going to kill him because he's been taking it too much. You can even see like worms going through his head in some portions, and you see that black goo coming out of his ear. So I don't know how long he has left. I think he has like 6 months to a year left, so he's dealing with a lot of stuff here. And of course, the first scene we see of Homelander is him basically pissing, just going on in the bathroom, and he grabs a hair from his body. I'm not sure if it's from his head or pubic hair or something like that, but he grabs it, and I'm not sure if he's dying or just gripping to the fact that he's aging, but he ends up in his room at Vought Tower. He ends up putting these hairs inside this little you know, container. I don't know what that it has to do with anything, what he's saving it for. Maybe he wants to make another him, or maybe it's just him dealing with the fact that he is aging, because he is kind of going through something. And then basically at this same mission that they're on, Homelander and Newman, it's like a Victoria Newman's like kind of you know, it's kind of like her thing that she's going to do to get elected and all that, and kind of like a rally, I would say. And Homelander and her are talking, and you have Newman's daughter, Victoria Newman, basically tells her daughter to go hang out with Ryan, and Homelander really has to say, don't get her pregnant. And I'm like, bro has no filter at all. That line took me out, because why is he saying that to like 12 or 13-year-olds? Man, come on, Homelander, you gotta filter yourself, man. And talking about Victoria Newman and her daughter is insane, because we saw in the 3rd season Victoria Newman kind of injected her with that compound V because she wanted her to have powers and all that, and her new powers are insane. Like, she has these weird little tentacles come out of her mouth, like 4 little tentacles come out of her mouth, and she ends up catching Kimiko and Frenchie with 2 other guards because they're doing something, and she ends up killing the guards. Like, the little tentacles eat the guard's face off, and I'm like, oh my god. And then Kimiko starts fighting her, and she tore Kimiko's arm off so fast, like she didn't even stand a chance. And then Kimiko and Frenchie have to get out. They jump out of a window, and while Kimiko's jumping out the window, Starlight starts flying, because like she can fly now, she's like practicing all that. She starts flying and starts to try to kind of grab Kimiko, and Kimiko grabs out, and it's just her little hand, because her arm got ripped off, so she's regrowing it, and it's just her little hand trying to reach out and grab her. That was brilliant. That's brilliant stuff right there. It looked really great. Kind of reminded me, I don't know if any of you have seen Deadpool 2, but he ends up getting like ripped in half by Juggernaut, and he has to regrow his body and like little hands and all that, or little feet and all that. And so it reminded me of that. I thought that looked fantastic. It was hilarious just how well that worked. Starlight actually ended up saving Frenchie, and Kimiko ended up just smacking down on the ground. But she heals, so she's fine. There's nothing to worry about her. And you got to see the first of Jeffrey Dean Morgan. His character is Joe Kessler. And supposedly, I think he's Butcher's friend from way back. And I think Joe kind of leads another team. Not really sure what he's doing, what his intentions are in these first 3 episodes, because we only see him twice in the first 3 episodes. But we'll talk about him more later. And we see Homelander again. He's like dealing with some sort of PTSD, because he's having a hard time, you know, holding on, and he's holding something in that we're just not sure about yet. But he's just so like out of it, let's say. And we see Frenchie, he's kind of crushing on this guy named Colin, which for me is only upsetting, only for the fact I really wanted him with Kamiko, because I know his character is bi, so he can go after a girl or guy, who cares. But it's only upsetting because, you know, I wanted him and Kamiko to become a thing, and people can really say, sure, they're great friends, they're friends, but, you know, friends could blossom into more than that. So I don't know. And he's kind of holding something back that we do kind of figure out what's going on. And Kamiko kind of makes fun of him for not going after Colin and all that. So he's dealing with that. Kamiko's dealing with that. And Kamiko says, I've had sex too and all that. I don't know if I believe her and all that, because she's having a hard time with all of her other thoughts. So that's an interesting plotline that we'll get more into. You got to see the deep Noir number 2 actually in A-Train and Homelander at kind of their Vought Tower meeting. And Homelander, you can see he's tired of them kissing his ass. And Ashley too. Like Ashley, he's tired of Ashley kissing his ass. He literally tells the Deep to blow A-Train, and I actually thought he was going to let him do it for a second there, just because you never know with this show and what they're trying to do with this show. I was like, he's definitely going to do it, but he just stops him. I'm like, dude, he's so tired of him kissing his ass throughout these 4 seasons now, because the Deep kissed his ass so much last season. A-Train doesn't really do it anymore, so you don't have to worry about that. And then Homelander is like done with it. He's like, I'm gonna go recruit someone. So he goes to Sister Sage's house, who we should just call Sage now, in normal clothes, which was so weird to see. We never see Homelander in normal street clothes. Like I don't remember a single time when he's actually done that. We usually just see him in a costume or naked, and it's so interesting. And this Sage, new hero, he invites her to the Seven. She's basically the smartest person alive, which actually is not a great power in this universe, because she could just die from anyone. Homelander could kill her at any point, and she makes like this pact with Homelander, like, don't get petty, let me do all what I need to do, let me be in charge. And she's very smart, she knows how to handle things. She starts instigating and, you know, working behind the scenes and all that. You see basically Homelander takes Todd and some other big Homelander fans to this one part with the Deep and Noir 2 and A-Train, and he asks them to kill these people, kill the big fans. And this is basically Sage's idea, because there's a kind of like a rally going on, and there's Homelander fans or Starlight fans, and she wants to get the Starlight fans in trouble. She's going to pin those murders on the Starlight fans. It's very smart. She's written very smart, because she is the smartest person ever. And you got to hear Noir talk for the first time, which threw me off, because I mean, you never heard him talk before, but now this is the new Noir. I'm not sure if this new Noir has powers or not, and what his intentions are, but I don't know if he's going to last long, because he's really annoying everyone else. You got to see Tilda Swinton voice like the octopus that the Deep is having sexual relations with. It's very weird. And at the end, you have Billy. He's kind of going crazy again, seeing Becca with his thoughts and all that. She's not actually there. He's not okay. You can tell that Tempe is just really getting to him. So first episode, I absolutely loved it. You're right back into the action. Now with the second episode, we got to see Will Ferrell make a cameo with this show. I jumped out of my seat when I saw that, because I was like, no way they got Will Ferrell, but they did. And it's not like Will Ferrell is in the kind of show, because this is just a scene where they're filming a movie inside the show. You're filming an A-Train movie, and PG Bourne, I think that's how you say his name, he's back with his famous role as he's the director in this show, making another movie, it looks kind of a Blindside film. And he's telling Will Ferrell's character, he's like, you know what I smell on you, you know what I smell? And he's like, what? An Oscar nomination. I'm like, bro, are you serious? It's crazy. I think that little thing that they go out with those movies inside this show is really smart. I really do like it. It's pretty funny. And you got Kamiko. She's kind of going through therapy and talking about like speech lessons, which isn't going well for her. She ends up breaking the therapist's chair because she's having visions, I think, of her past, kind of like of this fight club that she had to fight in. And Sage does not like Ashley at all. We get to see her talking about Ashley and is trying to get her out of the equation and telling Homelander like she's not it and all that. And you got Ryan in this episode. We got to see more Ryan in this episode, where he has fight practice, which was actually really cringy and really ridiculous how they were acting. Because you have they're trying to keep it PG, and the Deep keeps cursing. He's like, no, stop cursing, Deep. And Sage basically tells the Deep to stop taking shit from Ashley, because, Ashley's been, in control of all the other people under Homelander for so long, and everyone's just taking shit from her. She thinks she's so above everyone else, and so he finally stands up to her and kind of yells at her, calling himself the Lord of the Seven Seas. And you see her back down in this situation. She literally backs down. She's like, oh, whoa, I didn't know he had that in him. So Ashley is kind of just dropping. Like, she was at like the second part of the second pyramid. Now she's just dropping. She used to be Homelander's, number one girl. Now that's Sage. She is just not really in the equation anymore. She gets kicked out of the 7 meetings now because she's not needed. It's insane. I really do wonder where her character is going to go, because what are they going to do with her? She's not anything anymore. She's not the shit anymore. Let's just say that. And you got to see the first of Firecracker, and she's pretty delusional. Talking about Starlight, making up other ridiculous stuff, kind of like people who talk about politics in this real world. She's kind of like a politic person at these kind of like meets where they're like, oh, Starlight sucks and all that. And the boys writers must have it in for Tom Hanks, because man, they wrote a lot of jokes about Tom Hanks in this episode. Firecracker gets to tell a lot of those, and I was like, are they going to keep going? Because they just kept going. And during Ryan's first save from that practice, we have the real save now in the real world with like real people watching, and it does not go. It does not go as planned. Ryan actually kills the dude, because Homelander shows up behind him. He wasn't supposed to be there. He shows up and he's like, push him for real. And he pushes him way too hard, but literally throws him into the wall like 50 feet up in the air and kills him. And you see he's just not reacting well, and Homelander's like, smile, dude, smile. So that's not going well for him. He's not really enjoying this new life that he has, even though he went with Homelander. So it's like kind of his fault at this point. And then you're back with the boys, and the boys are about to fight Firecracker and Splinter, who is like crushing hard on Firecracker. He does a weird thing in the sauna that I'm not going to get into, but that was disgusting. And he's even more gross here, because this guy literally splits into multiple people, and like his just the scene how they were showing it was so nasty, and he does it with no clothes on. And I guess it must have been an easy shoot for this guy, because he didn't have to wear much clothes. I saw too much. I literally saw too much when they were fighting. The filming that would have been insane, and the boys are literally having a hard time fighting him, but Butcher ends up coming to the rescue. And then at the end of this episode, we learn that Frenchie is actually responsible for killing Colin's family, because Frenchie used to do really bad stuff, and like Russian people with that Russian lady, and I guess he's responsible for killing Colin's family at some point, but Colin doesn't recognize him. So we're gonna see how that goes down. I'm not really sure where they're going to take that and where Frenchie is going to go. Maybe that opened him up to, talking to Kimiko about it. We'll see how that goes. I'm really interested in that plotline. Then episode 3, we start with Homelander. They're at kind of like a rally again. He introduces Sage and Firecracker as new members of the 7. Great scene here. Noir too, he has some more funny lines here. He's really funny and just so different from the first one, because he's actually talking a lot. He seems like a chill dude, as I said, but I'm not sure how much longer he's going to last, because I thought that Sam from Gen V was going to be in the suit, but he's not. And we haven't seen them yet, but they're in the trailer, so they're going to show up sometime during the season. We'll see how it goes here. But Noir 2, I don't think he's going to last much longer. And you see Frenchie dealing with what he learned from last episode, and he ends up getting high before going on a mission with Kimiko, and they're fighting at this warehouse, and Kimiko's doing a lot of killing all these people, and you got Frenchie just being high in the background, walking around, watching her kill these people, but all I can really see is like bubbles and rubber ducks coming out of these people, because he's just high out of his mind. And in this scene in particular, it's weird because Kimiko gets really angry at him for not staying with her and all that, which is understandable, but Kimiko gets in contact with this girl that kind of looks like her, and she gets like a vision from seeing her in that little Fight Club place. So I'm wondering who this person is. It might be her sister. I think that's a pretty good guess of what's going to go down here. And that's probably going to end up being a big part of this season. So you have a lot of different plot lines lining up with Kimiko and her, Frenchie and Colin, Frenchie and her. So they're kind of intertwined in this one big plot line. He's like, and they have this really good conversation about Kimiko asking him, what's going on with you, dude? Why are you getting high all the time? What's up with you and Colin? And then you have Frenchie hitting back with a great line, something like, you're not telling me what's going on with you and her, I'm not going to tell you. So they're kind of like at this fighting distance. That's kind of them going against each other. And I think this is having something to do with them not being together, like her seeming angry about that. I think that's how that's going to go on, but I'm really interested to see how their plot lines, intertwine later in the season. And you got Homelander talking to Annika, which is one of the assistants in Vought Tower. She got in trouble for talking to Annie, which is Starlight, and now Homelander just shoots her and basically gets the laser eyes on her. And Sage is not happy about this, because they could have got pretty good information out of that, but it's just getting to his head. He's so petty about this. You can see he doesn't want Sage in control of his power. He has to get what he wants, but he's really just petty about it at this point. And we learn that Starlight and Firecracker have this childhood drama, because that Starlight was doing these pageants when she was a kid, and she was forced to do them by her mom. And supposedly Firecracker, they were in like the same pageant, and Starlight said some bad things about her. That's why Firecracker kind of hates her and possibly wants her dead. I'm not sure what her full intentions are about her. She keeps just talking about her badly, and you got to see Firecracker just talks to Homelander, and he's like so done with her. He's like, I do not like you at all, get out of my face. And we got to see the Vault on Ice. This is one of my favorite parts about the trailer, and it's funny because you don't actually get to see Vault on Ice. Like, I thought you got about to see, you know, them actually perform Vault on Ice, but you're at the practice and things go bad. Let's just say that, you know, they go bad. But I will say one of the other plot lines about the show this season that I'm not really liking that much so far is Huey's mom. She is like kind of a side plot line because his dad was Simon Pegg. We to see him. He's had a stroke. He's kind of like in a coma or something. And then Huey's mom comes in trying to take like medical care over him. I'm not really sure where this plot line's going to lead. I'm not really sure why we need it. I guess it's for Huey to get stronger and all that. But then you have and Huey are at the Vault on Ice practice and are on a mission trying to spy on Homelander and Victoria Newman because they're going to be talking with Sage and all that. Huey's up in the vents right above them, kind of like right above them with like vents open and all that. He's getting very hot. He's sweating a lot. And one of his drops of sweat falls on Homelander. And he's like, it's Huey. I could smell that guy from a mile away. And Homelander goes crazy trying to catch him. Like basically Huey's running through the vents, kind of like crawling through the vents, and Homelander's just shooting his laser eyes at him. And eventually he doesn't kill Huey. He kills the Maeve cast member, leading to basically all the cast members on Vault on Ice freaking out, killing each other. In fact, a lot more people killed each other Vault on Ice than Homelander did. But basically Vault on Ice was a terrible idea because almost every one of them fatally died on the ice. And so yeah, Vault on Ice, it was nothing like I expected because we didn't even actually get to see it. All of them basically just died in practice. So you got Huey kind of running and all that. I don't know what he was doing in that point, but A-Train ends up saving Huey from Homelander, which is a very good idea. And I guess A-Train, his plotline through this season so far is very, I like what he's doing here because he might end up working undercover for them soon because had a meeting with him and he's like trying his best, like stay on, Homelander side, stay on the boys side. He doesn't know really what to do at this point. And he's getting hated on from his brother and all that from all the stuff that happened in season 3. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see A-Train end up leaving the 7 by the end of the season or next season. It looks that way. Or I could see Homelander discovering what he's doing and killing him. And you got the Deep and Sage might be a thing now. They just start making out randomly. I guess she likes him. She says you're hot, and I'm not sure how Tilda Swinton is gonna feel about that one. And you got I will say the boys. Since is leaving the boys and he fired Butcher, you had basically Butcher's kind of just he's coming along on these missions. And he gets to say whatever he wants because he's not with the boys anymore. He's like, you're not my boss anymore. I can just come over here when I want. So leading them, I will say it's a good idea, but it's all not a good idea at the same time because he is a pretty good leader. But with him leading them, they just don't seem to be as much as a team anymore. They're never come together on these missions anymore. It was just Huey and on Vault on Ice. That's why it went bad. It just seems a lot lazier, a lot more clumsy with leading them. Like there's no true lead in the situation. Everyone doesn't care. They're just going on their own missions. So, this is something that's very interesting. I think it will change because I think later on the season, Butcher's going to end up becoming the leader again. Something's going to go on with I think is going to be like, I can't do this anymore. I need Butcher. Butcher's going to end up coming back. We all know it. We all are. It's going to happen because you're going to get another season. You can't fire Butcher for that long. I just think with leading them, it's just more clumsy. And then the end of this episode, it's where Homelander lashes out on Ryan, and because Ryan wants to save all these people, he doesn't want to kill him. Homelander's calling his son weak and all that. Ends up running away. Homelander walks up to the mirror where he sees like versions of himself, these versions of himself. Where he's like hallucinating. One of them tells him, "You got to stop. You need to let go. You need to stop needing love." Because throughout these 4 seasons of The Boys, we've seen him he needs someone to love him because he's desperate for that. Because I guess as a child he had no one love him because he just made no laugh. So he's basically telling himself to let go, stop needing love, be yourself, and just go insane. So by the end of the season, I think he's definitely going to go insane. Might end up taking a lot of people out. Who knows? His character arc is really insane. You never know. One scene he's going to go crazy. One scene is just going to be happy and tell someone good job. Like, you never know with him, but that's the end. That's our big cliffhanger going into next week, going into episode 4. But I will say we got 5 episodes to go, 5 weeks to go. I don't know what's going to happen, but man, I'm so excited. Perfect stuff in these first 3 episodes. My biggest complaint is possibly they might be juggling too many storylines because you got Butcher, you got their boys, You got Huey with his mom, which is the one I just really don't care about. You got Homelander, you got A-Train, you got Frenchie, Kamiko kind of stuff right there. So you got a lot of storylines to wrap up in 5 weeks. I don't know how they're going to do it. I will say the action is great. The sexual content is great because it just makes me grossed out. The meta commentary is really great too. So I really do love these first 3 episodes. That's my breakdown of all the first 3 episodes. As I said, let me know if you want more of this. I will break down the other 5 weeks if these videos do good. But yeah, I really enjoyed it so far. Let me know what you guys thought of the first 3 episodes. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.